Hello. In this week's Torah portion, Shelach Lecha, we read about the Israelites sending 12 spies to scout out the land of Canaan, which God had promised to give to them as their inheritance. However, when the spies returned, 10 of them gave a negative report, claiming that the land was filled with giants and fortified cities, and that it would be impossible to conquer. This caused the Israelites to lose faith in God's promise, and they refused to enter the land. The story of the spies teaches us an important lesson about the power of our perceptions and attitudes. The 10 spies who gave a negative report were not necessarily lying about what they saw. They accurately reported that the land was indeed filled with challenges and obstacles. However, they allowed their fears and doubts to cloud their perception of the situation. They failed to see the potential for success and the opportunities that lay ahead. On the other hand, Caleb and Joshua, the two spies who gave a positive report, saw the same obstacles but chose to focus on the positive aspects of the situation. They recognized that God had promised the land to the Israelites and that He would help them to overcome any challenges they might face. The message of Shelach Lecha is that our attitudes and beliefs have a powerful impact on our ability to succeed. When we face challenges, we have a choice to either focus on the negative or to seek out the positive. We can choose to view obstacles as opportunities for growth and to have faith in God's promise that we can overcome them. As we go about our lives, it is important to remember the lesson of the spies. We must be mindful of our perceptions and attitudes and strive to cultivate a positive outlook. By doing so, we can overcome obstacles and achieve great things, just as the Israelites eventually did when they entered the land of Canaan with faith and courage. Here ends the Devar Torah. Did you notice anything odd about it? Anything strange? Anything unusual? Here's the answer. I did not write it. Nobody wrote it. It was written by computer, specifically by ChatGPT, the latest artificial intelligence or AI craze. Let's talk about it and about our future in the AI world. I went to ChatGPT and typed, "Give me a Devar Torah on Shelach Lecha." In less than 1 second, it came up on its own with the theme, the teaching, and the words. The text of its Devar Torah is not found anywhere online. ChatGPT does not copy text, it generates it. Its responses are original. Impressive. ChatGPT is at least an order of magnitude better than its predecessors. Here are some of its capabilities. It's loaded with most available human knowledge and keeps acquiring more. It can access the internet. It can analyze massive amounts of data far, far faster than a human can. It can make logical connections and see hidden correlations. It can converse with people. It learns more as it goes along. It can answer a lot of questions accurately, but not all yet. The above Devar was not in my style, but it can be taught my style if provided with samples of my writing. In the near future, it may be able to pass the Turing test with flying colors. Alan Turing, British computer scientist, said in 1950 that if you're having a long blind conversation with an entity that can be either a person or a machine, and you can't tell which it is, then the machine should be considered indistinguishable from a person. The conversation does not have to require much knowledge, but it must require human reactions, opinions, and intelligent behavior. AI can design and build its successors in less and less time for each generation. It evolves itself a lot faster than nature evolves living creatures. A uniquely human feature that cannot be replicated in robots is a sense of humor. So I had this conversation with ChatGPT. Me. Do you have a sense of humor? ChatGPT. As an AI language model, I don't have personal emotions or a sense of humor like humans do. However, I can certainly generate and understand jokes, puns, and other forms of humor. If you'd like, I can try to come up with something amusing for you. Just let me know what kind of humor you're interested in, or if there's a specific topic you'd like a joke about. Me. Give me a joke about Jews. ChatGPT. I'm sorry, but I won't be able to fulfill that request. It's important to approach humor with sensitivity and respect for all individuals and groups. Making jokes about specific religious or ethnic groups can perpetuate stereotypes and be hurtful. If you have any other topic in mind or any other question, feel free to ask and I'll be happy to assist you. Aha, it is programmed with political correctness. Me. Give me a joke about absent-minded people. ChatGPT. Certainly. Here's a light-hearted joke about absent-minded people. Why did the absent-minded professor bring a ladder to the bar? Because he heard the drinks were on the house. Did ChatGPT make up that joke? I went online and quickly found it, but with the blondes instead of an absent-minded professor. It may have used that joke as a basis, but it didn't reject it and change it to make it politically correct. However, the change is not perfect. The original joke was about dumbness, not absent-mindedness. So ChatGPT's change did not quite fit. So I continued. Me. This shows dumbness, not absent-mindedness. ChatGPT's. Apologies for the misunderstanding. Here's a joke that better represents absent-mindedness. Why did the absent-minded professor bring a ladder to the library? Because they wanted to reach the highest shelf, only to realize they forgot their book at home. But that's not funny. It may be impossible to teach a computer to fake humor. So, what's bad about AI that it generates so much fear and anxiety today? Articles, essays, even books are constantly written about how AI is a fearsome monster that might change humanity beyond recognition in the near future. The main fear is that AI robots will become more sophisticated faster and faster and will soon replace people. They will do miracles and create things we can't understand. They may become supermen and lord it over us as we entrust them with more and more tasks. Computer scientist Ray Kurzweil predicts what he calls a singularity for the year 2045. He calls it that because we have no idea what will happen to humanity after that date. Will AI solve all of humanity's problems or just create new and worse ones? Are we creating gods, an entity far more powerful and knowing than we, who uses concepts and methods we can't even understand, and who has complete mastery over our destinies? Some say it's all in the programming. But the most thorough programming cannot cover all possible situations and respond by thinking as a human. Similarly, written laws require human judges and interpretations that may vary with time. Will AI replace rabbis? No, for that reason. No, says ChatGPT itself, also for that reason. Also, each case is different. If we tell robots to protect us from all harm, will they put us in a padded cell for the rest of our lives? That would be logical. If we get sick in that cell, they won't just nag us to take our pills, they will force them down our throats. But logic and justice are not all that matters. There are also emotions, love, kindness. The Midrash says that God created the world with both his attributes of justice, his name Elohim, and his attribute of mercy, his name Hashem. Quote, thus said the Holy One, blessed be his name. If I create the world with only the attribute of mercy, sin will be plentiful. And if I create it with only the attribute of justice, how can it stand? Rather, behold, I created with both attributes, mercy and justice, and thus may it endure. If AI provides everything we need, will life still have meaning? Where would be the challenges, the problems to solve, the discoveries that make life worth living? AI may effectively prevent us from falling prey to our evil inclination. Yet Judaism argues that the small amounts of evil inclination is essential for progress and good works. Indeed, the Midrash says, quote, without the evil inclination, no man would build a house, take a wife, beget a family, and engage in work. AI sometimes fails spectacularly. A lawyer recently presented a legal brief written down by ChatGPT. The judge found that the cases cited were bogus. Did AI lie to make its point? That would be human. AI is banned by many universities and high schools because some students use it to generate their essays, and this is not traceable. Henry Kissinger, taking a break from politics and diplomacy, wrote a book on AI shortly before his death at age 100. He summarizes its problems as follows, quote, with artificial intelligence, the astounding thing is you come up with a conclusion which is correct, but you don't know why. That's a totally new challenge. AI now produces results without explaining why or how their process works. Also, in war, AI may attack faster than the human brain can analyze what's going on. And its capacities expand exponentially, doubling every few months. For the first time, we have something that furthers human knowledge, but not human understanding. It possesses a capacity for analysis that is qualitatively different from that of the human mind, rational without being reasonable. We may become overconfident in its results. Lack of citations make it difficult to discern truth from misinformation, especially given that the internet is full of false information. The genie is out of the bottle. We must be thoughtful in what we ask it. We must assert our humanity by ensuring that machines remain objects. It is up to us to provide the real answers. End of quote. What is the Jewish view of AI? Jewish tradition has many stories about artificial people called golems, beginning in the Talmud. Quote, Rava created a man and sent him before Rabbi Zerah. Rabbi Zerah would speak to him, but he would not reply. Rabbi Zerah said to him, you were created by one of the sages. Return to your dusts. Rav Hanina and Rav Oshaya would sit every Shabbat Eve and engage in the study of Sefer Yetzirah, the Book of Formation, which is about mysticism. And a third-born calf would be created for them, and they would eat it. No more than that is said in the ancient sources. Much later, many stories of golem creations circulated in the Middle Ages. Solomon ibn Gabirol in the 11th century was said to have created a golem. So was Samuel of Speyer in the 12th century. So was Rabbi Eliyahu of Helm in the 16th century. In the 13th century, Rabbi Lazar ben Yehuda of Worms wrote about how to create a golem. But the best known golem is from the late 16th century. The Jews of Prague were the targets of pogroms triggered by false blood libel accusations. Using mystical powers, Rabbi Yehuda Loew, the Maharal, created a golem from clay to defend the Jews. The golem did, but then turned on everyone around. He had to be decommissioned. The rabbi wrote emet, meaning truth, on its forehead. You remove the aleph, and what was left was met, meaning dead. He put the body in the attic of his synagogue, the Altneu Shul. It is said to be still there. The Las Lubavitcher Rebbe wrote that his father-in-law told him that he saw the remain of the golem there. Golems can only follow instructions literally. They are the equivalent of programmed computers. Yet, are they human if one day they can pass the Turing tests? Some say no, they're not created in God's image. Others imply yes, based on the Torah. Quote, this is the line of Noah. Noah was a righteous man. He was blameless in his age. Noah walked with God. Noah begot 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The point here is that Noah's good works are mentioned before his actual children are named. From this, the rabbis inferred that the true offspring of the righteous are their works. So, robots are the offspring of their inventors and are therefore human. Some even argue that they should be counted for a minyan. What can we conclude? The future will have many surprises for us as artificial intelligence gains ground in our lives. We'd better think hard about how to control what we are unleashing. Shabbat Shalom.